Bobby, would love to get your take about the Bears debut, Caleb Williams' debut against the Tennessee Titans this weekend at home with all his weapons. Seemed like it was the perfect, ideal start against the Tennessee Titans team that are not good. I will say their interior defensive rushing is still really good. The thing that Vrabel built in there to build off is still exists. I'm not sure we'll play defensive tackles that good again for the rest of the season, but in saying that, our O-line looked absolutely dog shit. Caleb couldn't break 100 yards in the air. Didn't throw any picks, but didn't score any touchdowns. In fact, the offense didn't score any touchdowns, period. We had to do everything on special teams and defense, which is the most Bears shit ever. So what'd you make of them? What were your circumstances of watching them? Tell me about your opinion of Caleb Williams.
I felt so bad for you that it
Yeah,
was
you should have, because I was fucking in a dark place.
well because it was like this new era of Bears football. Yeah, you still had to win the game in the most Bears way possible.
The
And I
fact
mean,
that we won that game is a
you
new
won,
era
yeah,
already.
yeah. But like,
Right.
it was just funny to me because it was like, okay, we're getting an offense finally, and then you had to do everything on special teams and defense, like you said. So it was like the most fucking NFL scripted. If you know,
It
like
was
that's
dark at halftime in my house, dude. It was
that's
quiet.
that's like the Cowboys blowing a 31-point lead, but then winning in overtime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, yes, that makes complete and total sense.
By the
And
end,
I wouldn't have
honestly,
had anything
by
else.
the end, I was like, we're so back. Like, we're so back. Like, we're here. This is exactly what I love about the Chicago Bears. If this is the team, I'm good with it. I like, honestly, at least for a year while Caleb finds his feet, I'm fine with it. And honestly, the addition, like Ray said, and this was something I had noticed. Ray said in the group chat, it's very like old school Bears, like '06 Bears, right? You referenced their defense, like winning the game for him, which 100% true. But the one big key difference is we didn't have Rex Grossman throwing 2 picks, and the defense still having to fucking win the game. So to
Mhm.
me, I mean, Ray, if you wouldn't mind getting into the sort of nitty gritty of quarterback play with me for a second. I know that this might be a little meta for the more casual listeners of this, but
Mhm.
certain things you look at and because I know how you watch the game, Ray, and I know how you watch individual athletes pretty well at this point. We've been doing this fucking podcast for long enough. I think I should.
Mhm.
I think it's similar to how I watch them, which is I'm trying to look at the details that I should have noticed about guys that were busts before they became busts, right? So why is it that Robert Griffin couldn't sustain? Why is it that, Cam Newton fell off? Like the sort of the physicality is part of it, the footwork's part of it, but mainly it's their brain. And to
Yeah.
me,
Yeah.
what I saw with Caleb was I think just there's one like moment that every rookie has where he didn't get rid of the ball when he was getting sacked. So
Mhm.
okay, fine, but that's rookies.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm making excuses for him. But what I saw was I saw him make the reads. I saw him keep the offense calm. I saw him not let the world fall down around him. That was like the biggest thing. He didn't go into quicksand and let what very very easily could have been
Nice,
like
nice, nice
nice
outro reference.
replacements reference, right?
Yeah.
What easily could have been the world falling in on him. And I think, am I coping, or was I just like, well, he saw the guys, he just didn't make the throws? Would you rather your guy be accurate or see the pass to start, I guess?
Obviously, ideally, you want both, right?
Both would be great.
Yeah.
But that wasn't an option on Sunday.
No, right, exactly. No, I think that if you're able to see where the comeback route's going or where the option route's going, and obviously film corrects that, right? Film can see like, hey, on this 35, you missed the post there. On that 2nd and 4, you missed a chance for a screen here. Like, so they'll have that time to break stuff down. So that it's all good. But I think with him, remember, I said it a few weeks ago too. I thought that he was going to come out like how Cam Newton came out in 2011. Now, obviously, 93 yards, what wasn't that, but he could very well get 300 or more on Sunday. So we'll see how that unfolds. But yeah, I mean, I think that having the intangibles of like, yo, I'm gonna be that calming, steady presence. To me, that's what eventually separates the good from the great. And it could be your hope and the rest of Chicago's fan base's hope that
I
he
promise it
becomes,
is.
yeah, he becomes that guy that not only wins game on physical talent but thinks through the game, right? Brady thought through the game. Drew Brees start through the game, Peyton
Yeah.
Manning start through the game.
Those are the guys you don't want to give the ball back to with
those are
too
the
much
guys that you
time on the clock.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Those are the guys that we hold in high regard at that position. So, you want your QB eventually to have some of those tendencies. Now, obviously, as long as he continues to play smart, then it should be fine. And it's okay for him to lean on the defense right now because he's young in his career. So once again, as long as you play mistake free, and once again, I'd rather you take a sack and play the field position game than to throw it in the middle of three defenders like Brett Favre used to do, and then
Like Will Levis did in that game. Yeah, you'd rather that for sure.
As well, you know what I'm saying? So, but listen, there's nothing to be, I guess, concerned or worry about. I mean, I think that there's always fans that are like me that want guys to come out the gate swinging, but that doesn't always happen. So patience is key, and once again, I think that he's going to be an awesome player. It's just a matter of time.
Bobby, I mean, same question. I mean, obviously too early to tell. It goes without saying here. We can sort of caveat that one way or the other. It doesn't. Nobody's making any calls here. And if you're on like an internet comment board right now saying, "Oh, he's a bust," or "Oh, he's great," whatever you're saying, you're not right yet. Same question though. I mean, from what you saw, footwork, intangibles, arm, I mean, there's things I noticed it's still in preseason and in that game about the way he can throw a ball with off body position, with not having to set his feet, I think is an elite skill already. I think he still does two things at an elite level, like right off the bat. I really did like his brain, like Ray was saying, keeping everybody kind of calm, but what did you make of him? I mean, you don't have to sugarcoat it for me. If you really saw like a lot of broken quarterback problems, like you can tell me, and at least I'll know.
No. When you
I'll be okay.
I'll be all right, I guess.
Okay,
maybe.
When you look at when you look at his abilities, when the things that he can actually do with the football, it's special. So I don't feel like
okay.
Yeah, no, it's definitely special. You saw it in that preseason game, that ball he threw to Dunze. I mean, I feel like that right there is evidence that the tape's going to be out on this dude for a while. We're not going to be able to, even if he has a bad 5 games, because of that ability that he has, there's no way that we could write this dude off. There's no way.
Yeah.
No matter what. Caleb Williams is a special quarterback, and you're lucky to have him.
Yeah. And even with, because you brought up a few guys, so you brought up, the RG3.
Look how happy he is. Look how happy
RG3
he is.
even, it should be. He should be. But you bring up the RG3s, you bring up, even Andrew Luck to an extent, right? We saw what we thought was an ascension of Andrew Luck, then obviously because of a terrible offensive line, he essentially became punch drunk and couldn't play the position anymore. But with that,
he was really good when he was.
I was still surprised. I was still surprised when he retired. I still think he was
Angela's first 4 years. You were like, man, what a transition to go from Peyton Manning to Curtis Payne was involved.
Yeah.
Curtis Payne. That's if you know. But it was for Curtis Payne, then to Andrew Luck, and it's just like, hey, it was damn near a seamless transition early on, and then obviously, unfortunately, his injuries caught up to him, but. Yeah, but with those guys, I just think
I can sympathize with the back injuries.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can't. Once again, you can't rely on the physicality forever, and that's what happened. Same thing with Cam Newton as well. But with Cam Newton, and it was brought up in multiple interviews, and he's even brought it up too. I said, listen, whatever heart he had was snatched at Super Bowl 50. Once again, not an opinion. That's a fact. So he became a whole different quarterback after that night. So sometimes that makes people, sometimes it breaks them, and he got broke that night. So
you just transitioned from Andrew Luck to Cam Newton so fast.
Yeah, that was it was that whipped by me for a second.
Yeah.
You want to hear an interesting fact?
I was thinking about everybody he brought up. So sorry about that. Yeah, but yeah, that's just
you want to hear an interesting fact, kind of a mildly interesting factoid. I shot a commercial in Indianapolis, and we were getting driven around by this guy who was he knew the town really well, and he kept being like, yeah, those are Manning properties, and I was like, does Peyton Manning just own Indianapolis? He was like, oh yeah. He was like, that guy just went heavy into real estate from the time he got his rookie contract, and he just never looked back. He was like, he owns hotels, he owns restaurants, he owns housing developments.
Smart.
He just owns fucking the whole town of Indianapolis, basically. And I was like, damn, like people must have kind of freaked out when he went to Denver, huh? And he was like, nah, we all knew he was coming back to be like, he's basically the mayor of Indianapolis without having to like be the mayor of Indianapolis. It's why I think he doesn't want to do any broadcasting other than that Manning show, because he can do that one from home. And like, why would you, if you're Peyton Manning, why would you leave Indianapolis? I bet they bring like a gold-plated fucking carriage up to his house to take him to dinner at a restaurant he owns, whenever he goes anywhere. That's just a smart way to like play your life out. Dude's probably got the best life in Indy.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing with them in Louisiana too, though, because they're from there. And
yeah, I mean, but that's what dynasties do, right? That's what royal families do, is they spread their power around. You know, like they're like a virus. They infect other areas of the world. It's why you hear about the British royal family having like first cousins that are like the king of Denmark. You know, it's like they just all mixed it in the fucking same pool, the sick fucks.